That doesn't even enter my consciousness.
My life is an opera. Look at the Oscars. Look at the groupies. The movies. Look at the
It's only a matter of time before I'm staring at you from the cover of a Wheaties box.
Vice Supreme, Vice Supreme, Vice Supreme. Flex, flex, now I'm flex. Got time to open that purple. Got model bitches.
These are facts.
I'm Ryan Reynolds, Rexing. I'm having fun, just sex with my.
And what do you plan to do if this whole dream of yours doesn't work
That
out?
doesn't even enter my consciousness.
My life is an opera. Look at the Oscars. Look at the groupies. The movies. Look at the
It's only a matter of time before I'm staring at you from the cover of a Wheaties box.
Vice Supreme, Vice Supreme, Vice Supreme. Flex, flex, now I'm flex. Got time to open that purple. Got model bitches.
These are facts.
I'm Ryan Reynolds, Rexing. I'm having fun, just sex with my.
And what do you plan to do if this whole dream of yours doesn't work
That
out?
doesn't even enter my consciousness.
My life is an opera. Look at the Oscars. Look at the groupies. The movies. Look at the
It's only a matter of time before I'm staring at you from the cover of a Wheaties box.
Vice Supreme, Vice Supreme, Vice Supreme. Flex, flex, now I'm flex. Got time to open that purple. Got model bitches.
These are facts.
I'm Ryan Reynolds, Rexing. I'm having fun, just sex with my.
And what do you plan to do if this whole dream of yours doesn't work
That
out?
doesn't even enter my consciousness.
My life is an opera. Look at the Oscars. Look at the groupies. The movies. Look at the
It's only a matter of time before I'm staring at you from the cover of a Wheaties box.
Vice Supreme, Vice Supreme, Vice Supreme. Flex, flex, now I'm flex. Got time to open that purple. Got model bitches.
These are facts.
I'm Ryan Reynolds, Rexing. I'm having fun, just sex with my.
And what do you plan to do if this whole dream of yours doesn't work
That
out?
doesn't even enter my consciousness.
My life is an opera. Look at the Oscars. Look at the groupies. The movies. Look at the
It's only a matter of time before I'm staring at you from the cover of a Wheaties box.
Vice Supreme, Vice Supreme, Vice Supreme. Flex, flex, now I'm flex. Got time to open that purple. Got model bitches.
These are facts.
I'm Ryan Reynolds, Rexing. I'm having fun, just sex with my.
And what do you plan to do if this whole dream of yours doesn't work
That
out?
doesn't even enter my consciousness.
My life is an opera. Look at the Oscars. Look at the groupies. The movies. Look at the
It's only a matter of time before I'm staring at you from the cover of a Wheaties box.
Vice Supreme, Vice Supreme, Vice Supreme. Flex, flex, now I'm flex. Got time to open that purple. Got model bitches.
These are facts.
I'm Ryan Reynolds, Rexing. I'm having fun, just sex with my.
And what do you plan to do if this whole dream of yours doesn't work
That
out?
doesn't even enter my consciousness.
My life is an opera. Look at the Oscars. Look at the groupies. The movies. Look at the
It's only a matter of time before I'm staring at you from the cover of a Wheaties box.
Vice Supreme, Vice Supreme, Vice Supreme. Flex, flex, now I'm flex. Got time to open that purple. Got model bitches.
These are facts.
I'm Ryan Reynolds, Rexing. I'm having fun, just sex with my.
And what do you plan to do if this whole dream of yours doesn't work
That
out?
doesn't even enter my consciousness.
My life is an opera. Look at the Oscars. Look at the groupies. The movies. Look at the
It's only a matter of time before I'm staring at you from the cover of a Wheaties box.
Vice Supreme, Vice Supreme, Vice Supreme. Flex, flex, now I'm flex. Got time to open that purple. Got model bitches.
These are facts.
I'm Ryan Reynolds, Rexing. I'm having fun, just sex with my.
And what do you plan to do if this whole dream of yours doesn't work
That
out?
doesn't even enter my consciousness.
My life is an opera. Look at the Oscars. Look at the groupies. The movies. Look at the
It's only a matter of time before I'm staring at you from the cover of a Wheaties box.
Vice Supreme, Vice Supreme, Vice Supreme. Flex, flex, now I'm flex. Got time to open that purple. Got model bitches.
These are facts.
I'm Ryan Reynolds, Rexing. I'm having fun, just sex with my.
And what do you plan to do if this whole dream of yours doesn't work
That
out?
doesn't even enter my consciousness.
My life is an opera. Look at the Oscars. Look at the groupies. The movies. Look at the
It's only a matter of time before I'm staring at you from the cover of a Wheaties box.
Vice Supreme, Vice Supreme, Vice Supreme. Flex, flex, now I'm flex. Got time to open that purple. Got model bitches.
These are facts.
I'm Ryan Reynolds, Rexing. I'm having fun, just sex with my.
And what do you plan to do if this whole dream of yours doesn't work
That
out?
doesn't even enter my consciousness.
My life is an opera. Look at the Oscars. Look at the groupies. The movies. Look at the
It's only a matter of time before I'm staring at you from the cover of a Wheaties box.
Vice Supreme, Vice Supreme, Vice Supreme. Flex, flex, now I'm flex. Got time to open that purple. Got model bitches.
These are facts.
I'm Ryan Reynolds, Rexing. I'm having fun, just sex with my.
And what do you plan to do if this whole dream of yours doesn't work
That
out?
doesn't even enter my consciousness.
My life is an opera. Look at the Oscars. Look at the groupies. The movies. Look at the
It's only a matter of time before I'm staring at you from the cover of a Wheaties box.
Vice Supreme, Vice Supreme, Vice Supreme. Flex, flex, now I'm flex. Got time to open whipping that purple. Got model bitches.
These are facts.
I'm running Reynolds, Rexy. I'm having fun, sexting. My
And what do you plan to do if this whole dream of yours doesn't work out?
It doesn't even enter my consciousness.
My life is an opera. Look at the Oscars. Look at the groupies. The movies. Look at the
It's only a matter of time before I'm staring at you from the cover of a Wheaties box.
Party Supreme, is Party Supreme, is Party Supreme. Flex, flex, now I'm flex. Got cats whipping that purple. Got model bitches.
These are facts.
I'm running Reynolds, Rexy. I'm having fun, sexting. My
And what do you plan to do if this whole dream of yours doesn't work
It
out?
doesn't even enter my consciousness.
My life is an opera. Look at the Oscars. Look at the groupies. The movies. Look at the
It's only a matter of time before I'm staring at you from the cover of a Wheaties box.
is Party Supreme, is Party Supreme, is Party Supreme. Flex, flex, now I'm flex. Got cats whipping that purple. Got model bitches.
These are facts.
I'm running Reynolds, Rexy. I'm having fun, sexting. My
And what do you plan to do if this whole dream of yours doesn't work
It
out?
doesn't even enter my consciousness.
My life is an opera. Look at the Oscars. Look at the groupies. The movies. Look at the
It's only a matter of time before I'm staring at you from the cover of a Wheaties box.
is Party Supreme, is Party Supreme, is Party Supreme. Flex, flex, now I'm flex. Got cats whipping that purple. Got model bitches.
These are facts.
I'm running Reynolds, Rexy. I'm having fun, sexting. My
And what do you plan to do if this whole dream of yours doesn't work
It
out?
doesn't even enter my consciousness.
My life is an opera. Look at the Oscars. Look at the groupies. The movies. Look at the
It's only a matter of time before I'm staring at you from the cover of a Wheaties box.
is Party Supreme, is Party Supreme, is Party Supreme. Flex, flex, now I'm flex. Got cats whipping that purple. Got model bitches.
These are facts.
I'm running Reynolds, Rexy. I'm having fun, sexting. My
And what do you plan to do if this whole dream of yours doesn't work
It
out?
doesn't even enter my consciousness.
My life is an opera. Look at the Oscars. Look at the groupies. The movies. Look at the
It's only a matter of time before I'm staring at you from the cover of a Wheaties box.
Okay, we're not muted anymore. What is going on, guys? Welcome back to Gaming Daily Live. My name is Icy Gaming. This is Gaming Daily Live. Happy Tuesday, March 31st, the end of the month, the end of the quarter. I hope you guys out there achieved your Q1 goals or made significant progress towards them. We got a big show today. Very excited to have Mason Rich and Devin from Golden Tides onto the show. They are backstage right now, so we're not gonna waste a lot of time. We're gonna get right into it. But first, I gotta shout out Maddox Makes, Mr. Chow, Gunny, AE in the building. Appreciate y'all tuning in the chat. It means a lot. Of course, we got to shout out the incredible sponsors that make this show possible. You see their logos right up there. Blaze, which we are streaming live on right now. Big shout out to the Blaze fam, YGG Play, and their incredible games like Giga Chad Bat, Waifu Sweeper, Lowland, and maybe more coming in the in the near future. You didn't hear that from me, but that's the talk around town. I don't know. They keep telling me that they got crazy announcements, so very excited about that. Guys, let's just get right into it. I've got Mason and Devin behind the backstage, so we will bring them up. Big shout out to Tyler Foister. Big shout out to Maddox Makes for those 10 votes, brother. I appreciate that. So we're going to throw the away screen up. Give me 30 seconds, and we'll be back on with Golden Tides.
Party Supreme, is Party Supreme, is Party Supreme. Flex, flex, now I'm flex. Got cats whipping that purple. Got model bitches.
These are facts.
I'm running Reynolds, Rexy. I'm having fun, sexting. My
And what do you plan to do if this whole dream of yours doesn't work
It
out?
doesn't even enter my consciousness.
My life is an opera. Look at the Oscars. Look at the groupies. The movies. Look at the
It's only a matter of time before I'm staring at you from the cover of a Wheaties box.
is Party Supreme, is Party Supreme, is Party Supreme. Flex, flex, now I'm flex. Got cats whipping that purple. Got model bitches.
These are facts.
I'm running Reynolds, Rexy. I'm having fun, sexting. My
And what do you plan to do if this whole dream of yours doesn't work
It
out?
doesn't even enter my consciousness.
My life is an opera. Look at the Oscars. Look at the groupies. The movies. Look at the
It's only a matter of time before I'm staring at you from the cover of a Wheaties box.
is Party Supreme, is Party Supreme, is Party Supreme. Flex, flex, now I'm flex. Got cats in that purple. Got model bitches.
These are facts.
I'm wearing Ray-Bans, Rexy. I'm having fun, just sex with it. Like,
And what do you plan to do if this whole dream of yours doesn't work
That
out?
doesn't even enter my consciousness.
my life is an opera. Look at the Oscars, look at the groupies, the movies, look at the
It's only a matter of time before I'm staring at you from the cover of a Wheaties box.
White Supremes, White Supremes, White Supremes. Flex, flex, now I'm flipping. Got Karen in that purple. Got model bitches.
These are facts.
I'm wearing Ray-Bans, Rexy. I'm having fun, just sex with it. Like,
And what do you plan to do if this whole dream of yours doesn't work
That
out?
doesn't even enter my consciousness.
We're doing great. Thanks so much for having us. Obviously, big fan of yours and happy to be here.
Yeah, thank you, thank you. I think I was quickly
Likewise.
muted as I did that intro, but guys, welcome to the show. They heard you, they didn't hear me.
You brought the energy for us.
For sure. Doji in the chat, thank you, brother. I appreciate that. Guys, really appreciate you taking the time, jumping on the show. Talking about everything today. So, obviously, you guys are from Psychedelic Games, the studio behind Golden Tides, the pirate-themed adventure MOBA that just raised $3.5 million, which I do want to talk to you guys about. For anyone tuning in, if you've been anywhere in the crypto gaming space the past week, there's been a lot of conversation around Golden Tides. The game was originally positioned in the Web3 space. You guys sold NFTs. There was talks of airdrops and a marketplace. But last week, you guys announced that you're moving away from all of that, and that generated some strong reactions on both sides. So I'm really happy to have you guys here to talk about, the raise, the pivot, the game, and where you guys go from here on out. I guess I want to give you the floor on the thing that everyone's talking about, moving
Sure.
to Web
Well,
2. So yeah, just if you can talk us through what happened and why.
yeah, I think I'll give like a little bit of like a backstory too. So we always have a lot going on here, whether it's like, working in the game or stuff, going on in life. Like, maybe for example, Mason just had like a kid, like his first baby, like last week. So like that's like throughout all this stuff going on, he's like technically on paternity leave, right? But just so everyone can hear it, just like directly from me, it's, we like live and breathe this game 24/7. We've been working on this for, since 2020, pre-production, tons of visions. We love technology, and like we always just want to make like the best game. So since day one, I've always said, listen, no matter what, we're going to make the best game, and that's what our focus is going to be. So everything we've ever done has been there, and obviously we've pushed it far enough along where we were able to impress outside people and have external like validation where they, like, not only from the community side but also from investor side where they're saying like this game actually is really good and has a really big shot. So that's kind of how we got here.
Yeah, I mean, what was can you just kind of walk me through maybe the past 6 to 12 months? I mean, I knew, I met you guys back at GDC. I saw Mason at Token Singapore 2024. I've played Golden Tides a whole bunch. So like, what kind of was the process from, being in crypto and then ultimately deciding, the best path forward was leaving crypto and making it a pure Web 2 game?
Sure.
Let's clarify one thing is that, we are keeping the existing Web3 content. We're just not going to be focusing on adding new stuff. It's a confusion that people are having. They think it's 100% gone, but it's not. There's going to be a piece that remains, and it'll be a test for time.
Yeah, I also want to like just put it out there that, like I said, everything is always crazy, right? And just like from my perspective, I always say like, listen, we make choices that is for the best for, our team, the product, and the community, right? Like, and it's like all this is balanced. And at the end of the day, like I have to make the choice that's like best for everybody going forward, and you can't make everybody happy. So to like further talk about this, we actually announced like way before that we were going away from this direction. So like, we actually announced like in 2025 this, but we just wanted to like clarify a little bit further. So what was going on is we always focus like every day on our day-to-day is how do we make this game better? And honestly, I had to go through like a large fundraising process. So knowing like the market, if anyone here has actually like raised money or like went through the gaming service, no one raised money last year, and the market was pretty tough from 2024 through 2026. So we really had to rely on the game being really, really good to pull this off. And I think we're like one of 3 games I heard of just in general gaming market that was able to like get to this like fundraise like at this level. So just from like, just so everyone knows, there's a lot of like, hey, like, what are we going to do here? What are we pitching? What are we showing? And we constantly change the game, just to keep making it better and better. And honestly, we were almost on death's bed. But we were able to survive, and we're here, and a bright future ahead of us.
Yeah, I definitely want to talk about the bright future and the raise, but I think, a lot of people in the community, had a lot of questions, and there's been that backlash. So I just want to try and hear it directly from you guys. There were NFT sales, right? There were loot boxes that people bought. There was expectations of airdrops. I think you guys have said, well, we airdropped NFTs and did a lot of these things. So, the community is just asking, like, is there?
I can understand everyone's frustration and like their opinion on everything, right? I think it's relatable.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the choice was saying like, listen, we understand like what we've made, right? We understand like the products we put out there, and we want to stand by like what we did put out there, right? Where it's saying like, hey, like what, was collected in the past with these skins is still going to be on chain. It's still going to be in game. And it's still going to be a collection going forward. We also did do airdrops of, different types of tokens in the past. We did all that. It's just all in 2024. So it's really just like, hey, we want to make sure this is there. And my original vision for the game, like, really did have this bright future where, like, I'd love to use this technology in like a unique way. Like, we chose pirate theme because it would have been so cool to like bury real treasure and like find it. But like markets change and sentiment changes, and at the end of the day, like, we really want this game to be like huge and like have like the most players possible, which is best for every single person, right? It's best for the team, it's best for the players, it's best for the people who like hold these collectibles. And so all that like is balanced where it's like, listen, I'm trying to make sure everyone here is going to win long term, because then if we didn't survive or anything like that, then everything would be nothing. So we battled.
Yeah.
I think. Go ahead, Mason. Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to add to it, like, we actually learn by watching all of these other projects. So all of our decisions aren't just up at a whim. We watch and see how every move everyone else makes has affected them. And, sometimes, and I think in some of our marketing, it said everything's like could change at any moment, right? There's not, we promise things that our goals are, but the goals shift, the goalposts move, and that's the only way you should do business, right? You have to adapt to survive. And, I hope people like come to understand over time what it is we're trying to accomplish, where, player liquidity is actually the most important liquidity, right? If you have no users, nothing really matters, right? And what we've seen from other games is they prioritized other things versus players, and that is what ended them. So of course we had to adapt our plan accordingly.
Yeah. And just quick side note, Mason, congratulations on your first child as well. I mean, yeah.
I'm like pretty tired right now, so I had to bring Devin in with me to make sure that he could, take in more energy for you guys and give you more. But I do appreciate that. It is honestly one of the best feelings ever. Just every day I wake up like with a new type of energy where it's not about me anymore, and it's really exciting.
Yeah. I guess, like, were you guys then surprised by, I guess, like the backlash that kind of you received and the community response to that original blog post?
Yeah, it was expected.
Well, it's expected, but like some of the DMs that you get are like kind of uncalled for. I mean, I know people are not like serious about some of the things that they say, and it's coming from their like an irrational emotion that they're feeling or something, but like people probably shouldn't threaten people in any type of way.
I would just say, like, at the end of the day, I would say, like, listen, I understand. And, like, I try to just let everyone know. I was like, listen, I understand. And I always put myself out there. I was like, look, if they want to call me directly and hop on a call, like, I try to make myself available, which is probably not, like, the best choice to say. But I will put it in anyone listening, for people who really want to like talk about it and like hear me out like one-on-one, let me make sure like you're heard, I'm here. So just like shoot me a DM. I'm on Discord.
And I think that also goes to show is like our game and the founders here are like we stay on the ground directly available to people, and like maybe that's a mistake for our own well-being, but we don't run from anyone. We directly talk to everybody who wants to like be heard, and you know you don't have to like the things that we say, but you do have to deal with them because like we're building something, and it's not a it's a 5-year project so far, and it's not even close to this journey's not even close to being done. So, but we stay available. We don't run from we came right to you to get on the show to make sure we clear it up. Gaming Daily is like one of the ones who broke the story for us. So, it's good for us to stay in front of it.
Yeah, no, and I appreciate that. I think that does speak volumes. It's tough. We all were building in crypto under this like ethos of building in public and build with the community. And I think over the past few years, like there's absolutely some great virtues and benefits of that. But time and time again, we also see the downsides of it as well. And I always have like so much empathy for the founders that are trying to do the impossible job of making a hit game. The ones that we're building in crypto, we're integrating crypto and having to navigate so many hurdles with that, from technology to managing capital and runway and funding, and the legal side and the technical side of smart contracts and all this stuff. It's not for the weak or weary. So anyone who is a game founder, who has been building for the past few years, I have a lot of respect for them. I guess to kind of sum up the move and the transition, Murdoch, who is well known on Twitter and in crypto gaming, he basically said, he'd rather see the game, move to Web 2 rather than just, die and shut down, which we had over like 60 game shutdowns last year. And I reported on like the majority of them. So is that really how you guys see it? Like, it's
not really that. We're like, the way we look at it is like we just love all gamers, right? It doesn't really matter. I never really talk like it's like, oh, Web 2, Web 3. It's just like, no, like we love all gamers. We love our community. We love everyone who's helped us and came and tested and been a part of it. And I think all of that matters. But really, like the reality is we really want like distribution, right? Like how do you make a game large, have a large player base where like something does matter, right? So you need to have some success. So if we're able to use some technology in some ways, like just bringing those collectibles along with us, that could be a huge win in terms of a stepping stone and trust, right? So it's really just a balancing act. But no, really just want to make the best game.
Yeah. I think just going
back. We've always
Sorry, go ahead, Mason.
Yeah, I was just going to add to Devin, just saying we've always prioritized fun. Like it's definitely not the typical blockchain mentality, right, where profits matter more, but fun has always been what we care about. And our origin is from a Web3 investor, but he even has allowed us to make the shift knowing like what the landscape is. So I think it's it's important for everyone to know that fun is all we really care about here, and that, that's why we always made it was never planned to be a pay for game. It was always going to be free to play. Like we always wanted to make sure it was welcoming for all types of people, and there is no gatekeeping, which I always thought was weird for some of the games in Web3, is the gatekeeping. Free to play is the way.
Yeah, I think that's the impression that I've always gotten from you guys, and the messaging is that you are game first focused, gameplay focused, and even when there was NFTs and crypto, it was always coming second to Golden Tides, the game. But going back to the community and some of the backlash that you guys received with the announcement, I guess like one of the big questions around this was regarding refunds, which to be fair, aren't very common in our space, but they do happen. OpenSea is like one of the most recent examples of issuing refunds on trading fees for people who are unhappy about their token delay. So has the team considered any kind of even goodwill gesture for the early holders? Maybe not refunds, but maybe so. I know there was some public talk of refunds, and I think you guys on record said no. But, you know, exclusive in-game items. I know that NFTs are still going to be available and, you know, a rare item in the game. But how do you look at that, you know, any kind of recognition for the people who were a part of the community, who were there, who maybe bought stuff, who are not really happy right now? I know, you know, they've been outspoken.
I think the reality is it's just like hard to like say like what, you know, like what would happen 2 years ago, almost 2.5 years ago. And how do you like, you know, with everything changed, I'm talking like the whole market's down 99%, right? So it's like obviously there's like so much more to it, but the reality is like these still exist for what their purpose was. Like they were always like collectible skins, and we're keeping them, and they're still going to be like tradable. So, and they've been traded all over the place already. So it's like, it's just like not something we're looking into. I mean, sure, there's like talk about it, but I know like over time they're going to exist, and I'm sure there's more we can do later.
Yeah, I think
the
it's
answer is
we have to.
Really, there's no. I'm just going to say there's like there's no plans for refunds.
There's just some of those things that you let the world play out and you figure it out as you go. Like Devin said, they were pre-sale skins. It wasn't, you know, there was nothing. The primary thing you bought was skins. Imagine 2 years after you know, ordered something, you tried to refund it. It's like that's a very complicated situation, and I think people have their numbers and a lot of things mixed up with how it went down. But I mean, unfortunately, it is what it is.
Yeah. Is there anything, what have been maybe some of the common like mistakes or misconceptions that you guys have seen where you're like, that's not what happened. That's not how, like, that's not true. Like you guys misunderstood that. Has there been, you know, things that you guys.
The reality is, I mean, there's really no misconception, right? Like it's not like we sold anything that was like, you know, like a crazy amount in terms of like, hey, someone spent like $5,000 on this. Like we're just not in that position, right? It's just always been like, hey, like these are like what they are. These are Charizard cards. Like it's been stated from day one. That was like kind of our goal. And, you know, like it was, and what we got from that, you know, collection in a sense was so minimal for what like our total like budget and everything is. It was just like a little bit of like a more of a community rally, right? It's nothing in terms of our backbone. So I don't really want it to be like that. At least is one misconception, but I don't want anyone to be like worried. It's just like this has always been a game first position. Otherwise, we probably would have done other stuff in the past, which would have led down a different path and probably wouldn't be here. I think everything we've done has kept us alive, and it's proven that this game is like has a great chance of being very successful.
Yeah, and I think our new investors show like what type of support we have, and they're not Web3. But I think one misconception is like people kind of forgot that, you know, the original price was about $30, and then we actually doubled the amount that we sent out, so it was about $15. So we're just selling game skins at game skin prices.
Yeah, I think that's fair. One of the things that I kept seeing, and, you know, honestly, I think it's like the most reasonable criticism here. You know, Apex had a good take, like, basically, like, I get the business decision. I just, you know, kind of disagree with how it was communicated. Actually, I think maybe Gcrod had that response to Apex's thread. So I know over the weekend, you know, there was some pretty public spats and back.
Yeah, and we ended up putting out like a whole release just to clear it up. So we heard what people were saying, and then we put out more information. I think everyone came around afterwards. So I think like maybe at first there was some stuff that people were a little bit confused on, but I think we've cleared the air fully, and we put it out there like publicly ourselves on like our website and all of our socials as well.
Okay, so I guess I wasn't aware of that. So when did that go live? Was that?
That was so it'd be like our Sunday night, like Europe's morning of this week.
Got it. Apologize.
So this was like it was like we put some out, then there were some threads, and then we came back and we cleared up. And I think you can go back and look at like Apex and other people, and they even commented back.
Yeah, I think Gaming Daily did a cover on the second article, so I
Yeah,
think
team's really great. Um, um,
Everyone has a really great team at the end of the day. That's key.
yeah, I gotta just like push on this though, because again, if you guys are clearing it up, then I think that's fantastic, and I think that's the right thing. What I saw, was very public, antagonistic, arguments over the weekend, and I know like it's on one
I don't
hand
think
not
that
fair
that
because
only happened with one person who I have a personal
No, no,
relationship with.
anyways, I don't think there's anything online anymore.
Okay,
I'm just very tired.
yeah, which is understandably so. I mean, I just have to ask, right? Like looking back, would you handle that messaging differently?
Of
Anyone
course,
would.
but I also like will defend people that were being attacked at any time. I would, I didn't respect some things that were said, is all.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's fair. I think it's tough because we're in this spot where I understand you guys are trying to do what's best for you in the studio, and that's
We
hard.
believe we're doing what's best for everyone.
Yeah, it's not just us.
Let's be clear that our decisions are what's best for even the holders and the people who are upset. They just don't know what's good for them.
Yeah, I guess the disconnect for me in that is so many in the community are being outspoken and upset. Maybe it's a vocal minority. I don't know.
Well, there's also people who are vocal who are like happy. So it's like, if we're balancing it all, I think it's just like you're actually getting probably more people who are like supporting the idea, and then the squeaky wheels are, obviously the ones who come out there where there's this like, hey, they're like upset, they got some personal stuff, or maybe they're, they, who knows what their expectations were, right? So I think there's more to it.
Let me ask it this way. Is there any concern moving forward, going to market, building your game, that, these people who feel wronged or have gripes with Golden Tides, with the way that things happened, are going to, the collateral damage of that, kind of like the shrapnel from that? Like, are you, when you see, I guess, dissent in the community, does that concern you guys at all? Or it's like, well,
It makes me sad.
Well, there's actually
It always makes me sad because I really want like everyone and every gamer to be happy. And it's just like in the world, it's like, I mean, it's just how do you actually make everybody happy? It's impossible. But I like really want to, and I try. And like, I'm sure it's like, it's just one of those things where it's just impossible.
I mentioned earlier, time will tell. The market's always been open, and even I've been buying back as many skins as I can when people list them low. I just like, it's not like that hasn't been an option for people.
yeah, I mean,
But they're still alive.
yeah, it's just one of those things where we've seen games leave quote unquote leave Web3, and the original community. There's always a subset in the original community that is disappointed or feels let down, or is angry and upset and, calling things out. And I think, there are going to be some people that go too far. But then within that, there's always, I think legitimate gripes or concerns or things. And then it's all kind of in how it's managed, and then the dust settles. And we've seen, good examples, bad examples. Sometimes, no one cares and it just moves on. And other times it becomes a whole big thing. Kind of seems like what's happening to you guys.
Yeah, I just wish everyone would read the briefs we have on our website. It covers everything, and then let time pass and just wait for us to do great things. That's all I can really say is we're so focused on making a great product that's all that really matters.
Yeah. I want to go back. Let's talk about the investors, because, one of the takes that I did see online from Apix, I think what I was referencing earlier, he made a really good point that, like, people like Krafton and others wouldn't invest in you guys for no reason. And I originally wanted to have you guys on to talk about the raise. So, what can you tell us about the investors and the plans for the new funding? 3.5 million is a significant raise, especially in these markets.
We're just very grateful to like one have these backing and this group come in, right? I think there's a lot of people who looked at the game, like getting like these types of people coming in there, right, with the chance to bring this big with different publishing deals and esports teams coming in and just a lot of like partners that add value, right? It's not just someone coming in and be like, all right, let's do this, let's like make some money and get out, but to really want to have that longevity and have like a big game. And I do want to mention, I think something that's really important, especially for like this community that's listening to this call, Arbitrum Gaming Ventures is like one of the co-leads on the round. So it's like they're coming in and they like know this game is good, and it's like if we can make this a success, it's actually like amazing for like that whole ecosystem. It can really elevate them. Like honestly, they're unbelievable. That whole community and everyone a part of that ecosystem is like, how do you make something like this huge? And now they're like legit on our cap table. So I just want to make sure that people know it's like we have just unbelievable partners. We have a road ahead of us, and it's going to come down to our team, and our team has to deliver. So right now, everything is about making sure this game is a place people want to come back to. It's not going to be fun the first time you play. We want to make sure you're begging us, say, I can't wait to play it again, and willing to stay there and stick around. Because a game that has like that longevity, that's when you start seeing these collectibles and everything like really have like staying power and lasting. So I think that's our next goal. But for now, short term wise, we want to deliver on like an amazing play test where people come and say, okay, they really did make a great game. So I'll try to do that coming soon.
Yeah, you mentioned Arbitrum Gaming Ventures, and I'm just curious, like as an investor, they're obviously a major blockchain. So I know maybe you can't speak to too many specifics, but what is the relationship with Arbitrum today? Obviously, you said they've been an incredible partner, but kind of like, what does that look? I guess I'm curious, like, I'm like, great that they're investing, but also, and great that you guys were able to raise, but also like, what does that look? Why would they invest if you guys are leaving crypto?
No, it's just like a balance, right? And it's like they have like different types of like strategies on their own. I can't like speak for them there, but it's like we're not like we're obviously are keeping our stuff that's like it's actually on Arbitrum's chain, and we're keeping it there on their main net, and it's staying there. And it's just like, listen, they have different goals here, but if we can win, like we can win for them, right? And we can win and help with the building blocks to get this ecosystem back on track.
I'm curious, Devin, what does winning look like? What is like the
let's get I mean, honestly, if you want to get something unreal, it's like me just being absurd. It's like, let's get 5 million people playing this game. I don't know how long it'll take, but like that's our goal. Let's get 5 million playing this game, and more people saying like, oh my gosh, like that game's insane, right? It shouldn't matter on like short term wise. I just want you to come into Icy and say, I'm playing this game. This is awesome. Let me invite my friends. Like they have to try this with me. I think like that's like what I'm going for now.
Yeah.
Actually, I've always been going for that, but still, that's what I want. Like from you, I want you to come play the game and just be like, man, I actually need to play that again. And then if you're saying that, other people are too.
Where is the game at today? What are some elements that you guys like just love that you're like the Golden Tides is the thing that, you guys wake up every day and you're like, I love this. I can't wait. I'm working on this. This is the vision. This is the dream, like what was
it's gonna
it
sound corny, but honestly, it's like, in the past, like, it's like 6 to 8 months, we've actually been like doing a full refactor and rebuilding the game. So just making it like super snappy. So we haven't been able to play test. We used to play test almost like daily and like weekly. So our current goal has been trying to like get back there. We're able to like be back in a position to be playing it daily, which is actually has just started up. But anyways, that was our goal, is to get there. And now we get to play it daily. And then we're just saying like, what should we add? What should we fix? Like, how can we make this better? And it's just that constant flow with like our team, where our team is honestly amazing. And I like love working with them. So I always look forward to like getting with them and seeing what's going on and just picking like the choice, like, how can we just make this better? So that's what I always look forward to. And then getting back to the community and be like, now we're doing these playtests constantly and getting everyone else's feedback, and then doing another churn and coming back out and really just seeing like the analytics on like, is it working or is it not?
Mason, what about you?
For what I'm excited about for the game?
Yeah. Just like, what is it about, Golden Tides, like that you get really excited about working on or building or with that vision? And before you do answer, I just have to shout out John Galt in the Blaze stream with 200 votes, man. I appreciate that. That is massive. And thank you so much, John. You're a legend, man. Atlas does not shrug when John Galt is around. My guy. But yeah, Mason, back to you, man. Golden Tides, what do you love about it?
It's funny you said Atlas, even though that's the name of my son.
Oh, amazing, amazing.
So funny. What I like about Golden Tides is the same thing I've always said, and it's that we're developing a new genre. I like that we are taking our favorite pieces of all of our favorite games and putting them together in a way that's, consumable in small chunks, and you get like full experience. Like I think Devin has always put it as in like you get a MMO RPG like raid experience like every time. So it's kind of like taking like a raid plus league and combining them in a way. So developing a new genre, it always gives me excitement and hope for what we're doing, because we either carve out something new that everyone wants in the end of the day, or it ends up being something that they don't want. But we get to be the ones who get to test it, and that's exciting.
Amazing. I know the number one focus is building a great game, the success of the game, the studio, the players. If all things go well and the game, does great and you've got 5 million players and, all of that, is there a future possibility of maybe not returning to Web3 because the NFTs are on chain and whatnot, but maybe coming back and doing more? Or is the door fully closed? And, I just have to ask.
I think what we said before is we always adapt, like
it comes down to whatever the community wants. If the community is there and is begging for it, like we're going to listen to them. So if everyone's like, hey, we really want this, then we always support them.
What we'll do is we're going to prioritize the health of the game and the players.
Yeah. Guys, I'm kind of running out of questions here.
Let me ask you a question. What have you been playing recently?
In Web 2, I've been addicted to Arc Raiders. I recently just jumped into the Sandbox playtest. I got a preview at GDC of their new mobile game. And I did partner with them to do a playtest, and I really enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun, even though I don't like playing games on my phone. I actually usually play games on my iPad, so I did want to try that out. And then I've also been working with a game called Heroes of Hold'em. I'm a poker guy, and so anytime I can play like crypto poker, especially a team that I can work with, is a lot of fun. And they've mixed in like fantasy RPG trading card game elements to traditional poker, which just completely reinvents the game, and it's super fun. I'm not here to like shill.
No, I know. I mean, it sounds like super interesting for sure. I'll tell you this: I picked up Arc Raiders, and I don't know if I'm like an extraction like shooter type of guy. I think I was playing it. I was like, man, this is like felt pretty slow for me. Granted, I think I like my favorite game is Overwatch still. Whether I've been playing that for a long time, but that recent update has been sick. And then even today, I think they just announced like a new hero. So I'm like, I guess I gotta check that out. So that's been my like mostly game. Honestly, besides the games we're making, I mostly played that. I did see a clip of that game by the Sandbox, and it's just like it does look like pretty crazy. It looks like they put a lot of passion into it. And I've met the CEO of Sandbox before. He's like a really he's definitely a real gamer. And always like he's somebody who just tries a bunch of stuff and like pushes what he can. Great guy.
Yeah, and he's super nice.
Yeah, no, I mean, anyone that shows, I just saw Sebastian at GDC 2-3 weeks ago, and he gave a few of us an early look at the game, which was really cool. I guess let me go back and I just have a question, like what other things have you guys seen from the community that have been like positive, right? Like you said, it's been some misconceptions, but there were a group of the community that understand and get it. Murdoch is one who's like, hey, I think that this is good for the game. And, I'm excited about that. That did come under fire. That was not popular with the crypto gaming Twitter sphere, but you guys have your gaming community. So I'm just curious. I want to really understand and get a sense of what you guys are seeing and what like data that is giving you to like reassure you that, these are the right decisions and, you're confident in the path moving forward, because you've said here a couple times, like you want to do what the community wants and what's best for the community.
I think the one that always stands out to me is someone goes, I think this is great for the normies. And it's like the normies, like my friends saw this and they're like, well, now I want to give this game a chance. And they're talking more about like normies are weird, but they're all ready. So this makes sense for the game. So we've seen that. Other people have definitely said, my friends instantly said, okay, now I'm going to check it out. And then we have a large amount of community too who are not that are just like web 2 gamers, and they have all been like, oh man, like now I'm gonna, like, they're rallying their communities. And in terms of that side, it's been like a really great showing, because they're just like, okay, great, this is really just like a game. We're gamers, we want fun. This is awesome, right? So it's like we've seen that too.
And the Supervive refugees, they came to our game because they like that top-down MOBA, but with the open world vibe. And a lot of them have come, and as we've adapted, we get a lot of positive feedback from them. And they're the players that show up the most when we were doing the testing. So, these people who keep talking to us and telling us what they want, who actually play the game, they have a lot of sway.
Yeah, I respect that. Let me ask this one. I know tensions, rise, tempers, overflow in heated moments, and maybe we're still, things are still kind of simmering. But when the dust settles, a few months down the line, is there any chance of reconciliation with some members or people that you guys disagreed with?
It's not even a matter of there's nothing about waiting months. Honestly, we'll reconcile with anyone right now. Like I said, anyone can call me for a one-on-one. We want to make sure everyone feels heard, and I want them to also understand our vision is it's a tough choice to balance everything. People aren't in the shoes of how do you run a company and keep your team employed and keep the lights on, and also making sure that the game and the community are ready to play the game and back you, right? So it's all this balance. So it's listen, I want people to know our vision. They can call me, but I'm trying to make the choices that is best for everybody, and I feel very confident in the choice we made.
Yeah, I was going to say our door is always open.
On the game side, you got a big play test coming up, fresh funding, a lot of development. What does the next 6, 12, 18 months look like for Golden Tides?
Yeah, it's going to be crazy. I mean, it's just going to be a ton of content fluff now, tweaks, really getting in there. And what we really do is we don't say what's good about the game. We say, tell me what's bad, and let's remove that. So it's going to be a lot more of when people come to play is don't tell us anything good. We don't need to hear that. Just tell us be as mean as possible, and let's do that. And that's what's going to help us. So I think that's what our next 6 months looks like, and then we'll be obviously looking to see when we want to launch and all that.
He says mean as possible, but keep the respect. Again, we can only tolerate so much if people are going to choose to say certain things.
Yeah, I can empathize with that because I'm known as a pretty nice guy, and I think people give me more credit for being nicer than maybe I am. I certainly try to be very nice and very positive, but I also don't have the thickest of skins. And that's why that's actually why I don't get into Twitter drama or gamer beef, because I just don't have the skin for it. I'll say the wrong thing, or someone will say the wrong thing to me, and I'll stay up all night, tossing and turning, and it eats away at my soul, and it hurts me deeply. So I don't
listen. The trolls exist. It doesn't matter what the community is or whatever is going on. But the trolls are. It's I always say don't feed the trolls, but it does take skill. I always say I always try to be as kind as possible to everybody, and I stand by that. I don't think I've anything out there mean. But like I said, I also love the hustle though from everyone too, where it's they want to they're out there hustling, whatever it is to get followers or to get their opinion heard, or make sure the squeak wheel is fixed. And I also kind of appreciate it in a weird way. I'm listen, at least that person's out there doing stuff. But I think most regular people are not posters, and they're not squeaky wheels, and they're not going to bother you. And that's where most of the market is. There's people who are they're just lurking, or maybe they see it, or they're just why would I sit there when I actually could be playing? You just I mean, you know how it goes. It's everything is like that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And this is why I have a lot of respect and admiration for game founders and any founder who, you know, is going to be taking all those arrows.
Don't they call you Nicey?
They do. And
Nicey.
Maddox is in the Blaze chat saying, I went with Icy because Snowflake didn't command enough power on screen. That was really funny. We also have Sam Stephanie in the YouTube chat, giving some of that tough love on some of the gameplay and the game design. Just talking about how, you know, the game was fun, but there are certain times when maybe he was on a boat or whatnot. Sometimes the game would slow down, and that was frustrating for him. But when you're in the action-packed parts,
it's
you know, it's a lot
unfinished
of fun.
game. And
Actually, let me address one. I remember that. Like, there was like this like years ago, right? Because the people who played it was probably like 2 years ago, maybe 2.5 years ago. And there was a point in time where we had like shipboarding in the game, which is like a great idea in theory. Like, theoretically speaking, like pirate game boarding someone else's ship is awesome.
Yeah.
However, in terms of our game, what the game is, it would like stall out the game and like you'd be fighting on these ships, and now the game's going slow and it's like sluggish and all that. And you know, it was like, this is pre us rebuilding the game. So it's like, so we had that. And every time there's something like that comes up, it's like, all right, like let's address it. And we had to remove that. So we removed the boarding, right? And we've removed all this stuff. But what we do have coming, which is really, really awesome, is we have like a whole new item system coming. So we had this like system before where we had like power scaling, but it wasn't like infinite. It was kind of like capped, which was fine. But this new system is sick. We kind of do this like attribute system we call like traits and masteries, where as you get gold in the game, instead of going and buying like items like League of Legends, you now and having to like build and craft and all that, we really simplified it down where it's like a sports attribute game. It's like, you want more health, just buy health, and you can like keep buying health and just kind of like tap into that attribute. You can go into like attack damage, you know, armor, all that good stuff. There's like so many of them. And then as you unlock all those, you also get these points for these masteries, which can either add depth to your playstyle, or you can use them as counters. So if someone has a lot of healing, you can buy like a mastery that gives you anti-heal. So very simple on paper. You know, you're buying attributes, you're getting masteries, but we have another system also coming. So as you like level up in the game, your heroes now every level get to pick of 1 from 3 talents, which changes the way you play. So they're not like necessarily things that like help you power scale, but they really change your playstyle of a specific hero. So the best example of that is, say if a character has a teleport, like a long range teleport, they now can switch it to 2 short range teleports. And you combine these 2 systems with traits and masteries with the talents, and you get like crazy depth. I think it was like at the bare minimum, without getting into like little stuff, it's like 45,000 different ways to play each hero, which is so sick.
Yeah.
And to address directly Sam's mention, a lot of these idle decision making happens during like the transition of ships. So there is a part where if you're not in ship combat, you might be a little idle, but they gives you opportunity to reset your stats.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think the chat has been very active, and Maddox is in here, Sam's in here, a lot of people talking about the game, so that's always a positive sign, especially as you guys are building and developing and going from playtest to playtest and collecting that player feedback. Real quick, I wanted to jump back. Maybe this is something you guys can speak on or not. No worries. With Krafton being one of the investors, I mean, that's major, right? That's one of the biggest publishers, game makers in the world. PUBG. Everyone's played PUBG, right? So, what light can you shed in terms of that? Are they going to be helping out? Is there any help in publishing, distribution? What does that kind of look like?
So they have like different divisions over there, but I just want to say, like, I know like they kind of get some like PR stuff going on like right now, but the reality is everyone we've talked to there is super, super nice, and they actually really care about games. So the group we work with there is hands-on. Like they'll come in, they'll play the game, they'll share advice, and from our perspective, even with the group working within Krafton, our job now is to make the games like amazing, where we then will go back to the Krafton publishing group and say, here's what we're presenting you guys, and figuring out the strategy from there. But right now we have to make the game good enough, and with the internal Krafton group as well, to present it. But like I said, everyone there is like amazing. They're all game first. They're not like, there's nothing crazy. Everything's just like, how do we make the best game? And they're aligned with us.
Guys, I gotta respect that. Is there anything else that you want to say to the community, to the holders, to the people watching, the future Golden Tides players?
Yeah.
I just want, like I said, we
Um,
want to make the best game. We want you to be a part of it. Definitely, like when you make something like this and you're making a game, it's very subjective. It's not like making like a technology where you're like, hey, I made this tech, like, does it work? It's like someone could say, I don't like pirates, and they're not going to play your game. So it's very subjective. So we want to make sure that everyone here who's coming to play the game, like, just know you're going to be heard. We want to make this game. We want to make this amazing, and we want you guys to help us.
Yeah, we're just going to be focusing on making a fun game, and that's what our new investors saw, right? They only came and played the game and cared that it was fun because that's what they know sells.
Guys, I really appreciate you coming on, being real about all of it. Listen, I think this kind of conversation is really important, and you guys came on live stream and answered my questions. So I want to thank you for that. You know, people are allowed to have their opinions. That's fine. But I think it's always good to have the conversation, hear other sides. And that's what I wanted to do on Gaming Daily. So, you know, I definitely wish you guys the best moving forward. You know, we want games to succeed. We want studios to succeed, but we also want community and players to succeed. And I will be honest with you guys. I don't know enough. I don't know enough to have an opinion on it, right? I've met you guys. I like you guys. I've played Golden Tides. I think the game has a lot of potential. At the same time, I am seeing, you know, I'm getting DMs myself. People didn't want me to have this interview. And I'm like, that's, you know, I don't agree with that. Like, I want to have a conversation, you know?
Honestly, both sides, upset people and not upset people, should want this, right? Like, we're just here to talk and like tell it what it is, right? You can't get information if we don't show up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I do want to say thank you so much for having us on here. You know, I'm sure we'll, you know, it is what it is. But my main point now is I hope you come play our game, and I'd love to host you for a playtest soon.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's Golden Tides has always been on our radar. I always want you guys to win and succeed, and I want the community, and especially the early people who believed, who might have bought something, to succeed, or to feel like they've you know, gotten what they wanted and what they were a part of, which I completely agree. It is ultimately the game winning, and you know, the players winning, and you know, hopefully for everyone involved, this can be a learning moment and a teaching moment. You know, tempers get hot, tempers flare, but like you guys said, it all comes down to respect at the end of the day. And, you know, some of the conversations I think have not been great. And that's gaming, that's crypto, that's social media. And we can all, you know, strive to be better every day. I know, you know, things are really hard. So you guys showing up, I think, speaks volumes, and I do appreciate you for that.
Well, thanks for having us.
I have to agree.
Yeah. Awesome, guys. Well, we'll talk soon. I'm going to drop you off the live stream now,
Later.
and keep the show going. But, you know, keep on trucking.
All right, thanks, Icy.
We
Bye.
will.
Later, boys. All right, guys. That was Golden Tides. That was Mason. That was Devin. You guys have been legendary. Appreciate you guys so much. Sam, Zoe, Maddox, Llama, Toxic, John Galt, everybody in the Blaze stream, everybody tuning in on Twitch and YouTube. The Blaze chat's going crazy. You guys see that Blaze chat? Y'all have been amazing. Y'all have been amazing. Ice and Dark in the building. Tough. Really, like I said, really respect them coming on. I think it was a good conversation. I feel like the people that have criticisms and are like venting, you know, about certain issues, I don't know if they really are going to come away from that interview feeling like, okay, they got their They got their moment of, comeuppance. They got their moment of like acknowledgement. And I wanted to get that. I wanted to give them a chance to be like, like, hey man, we said some wrong things. Like, we apologize about that. They said that they published a new article or post. And I'm not familiar with that. It's tough. It's tough. It's a super tough spot. So Llama, the question is, did they get away with the NFT rugging, or is it a pivot with future compensations? Berna certainly unimpressed. Yeah, I don't think anything is gonna, quell those qualms, which is unfortunate. I wish that we could have. I wish that we could have gotten something like that. My understanding with the NFT stuff, Llama, is that people bought skins from $10 to $50, and there were utilities that were, quote unquote, promised or expected to be delivered, an airdrop being one of them. And according to the team, there were airdrops. There were pet NFT airdrops. They even said that there were token airdrops. Maybe I should have double clicked into that, because I'm like, well, what kind of tokens? What tokens are we talking about? So the team's position is that we fulfilled our obligations. We did what we said we were going to do. Maybe not, I'm sure there's some gray area here, right? But that's what they're saying. I think the sentiment is, a lot of people that were a part of the project who want, maybe were buying these things and saw airdrops, everyone was like expecting token airdrops and they wanted to make money. And I think that the team's point on that was like, well, I guess I can't speak for them. And I think that they've publicly said things to the degree of like, well, people were just going to sell. If you just wanted to get a token to sell, like, that's not what we're here for. And so my sense is that there's some clear tension between the community. There are certain people in the community or people in the community that wanted those things and then did not get those things in the way that they were expecting them. And then maybe the way that Golden Tides had communicated things or spoke to people really was not the best. And that just made everything worse. If I'm being honest with you guys, I think I'm trying to be neutral here. We're on live stream, so like, let's keep it real. We're on live stream. And fuck it, dude. Like, fuck it. I can be charitable to both sides in this situation. Where I am stuck is I've seen multiple people have been sending me DMs and screenshots. Some of these screenshots even, were made public, and I can't give them a pass for the way that they have spoken to people and communicated. It's always ugly when DMs are getting leaked. And so, listen, I've got DMs out there like, that could be taken out of context, right? For sure. But nonetheless, like, the people that are very upset, I think, in these direct conversations have a right to be like, bro, that is not how a game founder should speak to creators, players, community, and whatnot. And so that really shakes the faith a little bit in terms of like, guys, like, I don't think that that's good PR management. I don't think that that's good. That's not good leadership. It's just not good leadership. Now, to be charitable in that direction, you don't have to be a nice guy to make a great game. You don't have to, like, you don't have to be like you. People can talk shit to communities all they want. I don't agree with it. I don't like it, but that people can be that way. We had the major one last year with what was like the revolving games Amar situation where he told the guy that wanted a refund, like, I spoke to my lawyer, there will be no refund, go F yourself. I mean, that was the craziest one of all, dude. That was insane. That was absolutely insane. And then he had to walk that back, So there we go. That is the Golden Tides interview. I did my best to ask the questions that I really wanted, and I had to press a couple times because I was like, that's the part that I can't square. They kind of kept saying, like, we want to do right by the community. And I'm like, but a lot of the community want refunds and are upset. And, the answer is kind of like, well, it is what it is. It's like, okay. All right. Okay. What are you going to do? I'm just icy gaming. What do I know? I do think that, listen, they came on stream. They wanted to talk about it. They came on live stream. Snowflake Gaming in the building, baby. And they said repeatedly, our doors are open. And, we don't have to wait months to bury the hatchet. They said, we can do it right now. Like, who want what? They're with it. Icy was too nicey. Listen, man, I think for me, I want to grow as an interviewer. I want to grow as a journalist. I want to grow as this platform. And so on one hand, it's really important for me to have a platform where people can trust and know that they can come on and receive fair treatment. On the other hand, it was incredibly important to me that I did right by you guys. To ask, like, real questions and try to hold them accountable or like get real answers. And so if I could have done a better job, that is like where I want to learn. I'm sure, let me rephrase it. I'm sure I could have done a better job. And this is an opportunity for me to do it and learn and try to find ways to just improve as an interviewer, as, quote unquote journalist or gaming journalist or whatever I'm doing here, guys. Yeah. But the thing is, like, they said, like, hey, we'll talk to anybody. So I would love to see conversations with more people, sometimes people, like, things get caught up on the internet, and we're tweeting Twitter fingers, right? But it's like, if we hopped on a call, it's like, maybe we shout, maybe we yell, maybe we but it's a little bit easier to kind of like get through to people because you can hear people's hearts and their intentions and whatnot. I had to like resolve something the other day between a couple of friends where I'm like, whoa, like, you guys, I don't know, you guys maybe aren't on the same page, and I think you guys need to get on the same page because you guys are great, and like, we should be on the same page. I don't know, guys. I appreciate y'all being here. The chat was electric. Berna, Maddox, Maps, Big Bro Zoe. We had Sammy Steph swing through. Llama, Ice and Dark. I hope I did you guys, did you guys do good? Did right by you guys. The thing is, guys, like, my other take on this, dude, is that it's just like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Are we for real right now? Are we for real? Are we so for real? My best burnt peanut impression. Like, what are we doing, guys? Like, what are we doing? It's just gaming, bro. Gaming is, we're so cooked. We're so cooked. It's so cooked, guys. Like, what are we doing, bro? It's like, I want to push the world forward, man. I want to push things forward, and crypto gaming has been, discouraging. I don't know. It's been tough, man. It's been tough. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, a few dominoes fell over, and we're seeing the results of all of the bad stuff a few years ago affecting now. All right, Icy, I cut the feed to the stream. Tell me what's really on that beautiful mind of yours, Maddox. You know what? That's a great question, man. What's on my beautiful mind? I just see so many people working so hard with like really big hearts and so much talent, and people that like believed and had dreams and like poured passion and love and time and energy. You got everyone in the chat here is like people who show up, and I've seen and watched so many of you show up time and time again, day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year. And I just like, y'all deserve to win. We deserve to win. And there hasn't been a lot of winning, there hasn't been a lot of winning. And that angers me, like that makes me upset. I don't like that, because you guys deserve to win. I think I deserve to win. I guess in life, you don't get what you deserve. You get what you work for. And, but we were putting in the work. Gosh darn it. We were putting in the work. And that's just like, I'm trying to figure that out, I'm trying to figure out the path forward for myself and for all of us. And that's the situation for Golden Tides. That's the situation for every individual person, man. We're all just trying to figure out the best path forward and do the best that we can with what we have. And I just wish that there was a way that, the good people, got good things. And, yeah, guys, what is going on over here? I don't know what is going on in the Blaze chat. Maps, Berna, I love the both of you guys. I'm not going to scroll back up. Can we just cut this right now? Can we I don't know what's going on, bro. I don't know what's going on. I think we're all like good people and good results, or like, do good work and stuff. And I just don't, if you guys want to take it to the DMs, take it to the DMs, solve that, hop on a call, figure it out. I don't know what's going on, man. But like Icy Gaming, the streamer on Blaze. I don't want negativity in my chat. I don't want people butting heads in my chat. There's no need for it. That's not what we're here for. I respect and have nothing but love for you guys, and like, let's I'm gonna end the stream because like that's just not, like let's just cut it out. I don't know. Do we have like mods do something, dude, something. Nothing but peace, love, and positivity in the Icy Gaming chat. Okay, guys, peace, love, positivity. Make positivity louder. If we got problems with people, let's hash it out. Let's DM, take it to the DMs. Yo, bro, what's it? What's up? Let's talk about this. Let's get on a phone call. We don't need to, keep it going in public. I think that's really my that's the standard that I want to set. The world has enough negativity in it, and like, one of the quotes that I live by is, a wise man understands that in this life you can either build or destroy. I think that's really it, man. Like, you're either putting energy into building things, uplifting, doing something, moving forward, adding, creating magic and creating beautiful things, or you're putting energy into destructive, negative, tearing down, negative energy that just ends up feeding negativity. I think there's a time and place. I think there's just a time and place, and that's the vibe. That's the vibe that I'm on, boys, ladies and gentlemen. With that said, guys, we're gonna shut it down here. I appreciate y'all hanging out. I think this was a cool stream. This is a different stream. The streams are changing because we're just doing interviews now, and so like, it's there's less time to kind of chat with the chat, because we are I'm like trying to be respectful to the guests that we have on. I do like chopping it up with you guys after the stream, kind of reviewing the interviews and just talking. But I also want it to be valuable for you guys and like something and entertaining. So maybe it is entertaining and valuable just to chop it up like this. Maybe it's not, right? We'll have to see. Like Meso Rich says in the Twitter chat, time will tell. This will be a series, maps. Yeah, I do interviews on Blaze and on stream Monday through Friday. Actually, that's a lie. I just lied to you guys. Forgive me. Monday through Thursday. We do interviews Monday through Thursday, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I bring on founders from projects Monday through Thursday. Yesterday, we talked to Celeste from Virtuals Protocol. Tomorrow, I can't announce it yet, Llama, because I'm still scheduling it. I had a few people, but the timing isn't working out. So it's still to be determined. On Thursday, we're going to talk to Jake Lynch, former VC at L1D and founder of We Like Sports. Really great guy, really smart guy. Super excited to talk to him. And already the interviews are filling up for next week. So tune in tomorrow. We will have an amazing guest. We will have an amazing conversation, and we will go from there. If you guys tuned in, I appreciate you. Maddox, Maps, Toxic, Llama, Berna, Big Bro Zoe, Sammy Steph, Doji, Tyler Foister, AE, John Galt with the 200 votes. Clap it up for John Galt, my guy, my goodness. A bunch of people swung through. the Blaze community, which is why I love streaming on Blaze. It's so great. If you're not streaming on Blaze, you need to stream on Blaze. And if you're not playing YGG games, you need to be playing YGG games like Giga Chad Bat, Lowland, Waifu Sweeper, jumping into some of their daily YGG quests, or just showing up to one of the Icy Gaming Daily game nights where we give away YGG tokens. Last week, we gave away $150 on Friday to people in the audience. 6 people won $25. Toxic, absolute legend from Elixir. We had an incredible game night there today. Maddox Makes was in the building. That was a lot of fun. We've got a tweet from, thank you, Maddox. I appreciate you. Big Bro Zoe with the follow, my guy. Maddox, you're not on the graphic. We're going to have to do a round two. Shouting out everybody on there, you know? But guys, that's going to do it for the stream. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I love y'all. Keep it positive, man. If you're not building, you're misusing your energy, in my opinion. You know, like, build or destroy. And the only answer is to build. Be the change that you want to see. You know, go out there, chase your dreams, create content, help, make the thing that you want to exist. Life is beautiful, but it's also short, and it goes to the ones that take action and take control. So keep fighting for your dreams. Keep dreaming. Keep playing games. Stay humble. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.
These are facts.
And what do you plan to do if this whole dream of yours doesn't work
That
out?
doesn't even enter my consciousness.
It's only a matter of time before I'm staring at you from the cover of a Wheaties box. These are facts.
And what do you plan to do if this whole dream of yours doesn't work
That
out?
doesn't even enter my consciousness.